Hello again. This is Wendy Down with the third recording in our Future of Aging series here in the Consciousness Playground. This recording is called the 5-word mantra to be ageless for life. On this recording, I have a really specific and focused concept and experience that I want to share with you so that you can directly so that you can have a tool to directly take yourself into the experience of agelessness from wherever you are at any point in your day or in your life. To start, I'm going to share a quick truth about our real relationship to time that should strike you as accurate despite everything you've been taught or told about how you move through time. And then I'm going to take you into an experience to change the way that you interact with each moment of your day that will allow you to experience agelessness for the rest of your life, depending on how mindfully or regularly you apply or use this mantra I'm going to share with you. To get the most out of this recording, you probably will want to have a piece of paper and pen handy to write down the answers to some questions that I'm going to ask you. And now would probably be a good time to grab that if you don't have it handy there already. Before we get into those questions and answers and the exercise that I want to lead you through, however, I first want to share, as I promised just a second ago, the insight, the truth about your relationship to time that's in contradiction to what we've all been told and taught and learned to think. What we're taught is that we are bodies that move through space and time in a linear progression. We move across age, we grow up over time, we accumulate the past, and we move forward into the future. We see ourselves on a timeline with our age increasing and our bodies accumulating experiences over time. I want to share with you, though, a completely different perspective that, as you hear it, will probably ring much more true to you as your direct experience. This is it. A more accurate and truthful explanation of your relationship to time is this. There is only ever one moment in time, and it's now. And so, in other words, there's never been a time, there's never been a moment where you were not in the now moment, where you were not here where you are now. And so what life is, rather than a linear progression through time or over time, what life is an endless experience of experiencing this one now moment from an endless and varied range of perspectives. Let me say that another way so that that can really sink in. There is only ever has been, only ever will be one moment. There's only one moment, which we call now. There's only ever now. And what a lifespan is, what your life is an endless changing, an endless variety in consciousness, who you really are, an endless variety of consciousness experiencing this now moment from a variety of perspectives. So, for example, at one point you had the perspective of this now moment through the eyes and the thoughts and the mind and the environment of a 1-year-old. It was this same moment you're experiencing right now only you experienced it from that perspective. Also, you've experienced this now moment that you're in right now from the perspective of a teenager. This now moment you have experienced from the point of view of someone who was 13 in a particular school or setting, in a particular body, experiencing a number of particular focuses or challenges at that time. So this now moment that you're having right now has been experienced by you, the changeless, timeless consciousness that you are, just had a focused experience as a 13-year-old from that perspective, that mindset, that body, that complete package of a focused perspective. Same with right now. It's this very same now moment. It's not a different now moment. It's the very same singular, only now moment there is. And right now you're experiencing it from the perspective of who you are now, the age you are, the life circumstances you're in, the physical body you have, the structure you have around you, the home you live in, the job or hobbies or ways that you spend your life, the way you define yourself now, is a particular perspective, a focused perspective, an all-encompassing perspective of this now moment from this point of view. And as you continually experience this now moment, which incidentally, as consciousness, you will never, ever stop experiencing, and we will talk about that in a future of aging recording, but there is never a point at which you will not be experiencing this now moment. And you will continually be experiencing this now moment from different perspectives. Some of those include different perspectives according to the age, the timeline of the body that you are experiencing yourself as being in. Although, from a more accurate perspective, this body that you are in is actually inside you rather than the other way around. I want to say one more thing about that understanding before we move into the exercise I want to lead you into. That as you sit here in this now moment with all of your attention and all of your being focused into this now moment, what you can see is that the past, or the perspectives that you looked at this now moment from at times that you call in the past, those memories or those focused experiences actually sit in exactly the same place in your consciousness as any future experiences that you, from a timeline perspective, believe that you will have. The past and the future from this now moment actually are more like sort of slides of a movie screen. You're not focused right into them right now, so they're not as real to you as this now moment where you're physically focused into the perspective that you have right now. They're slightly fuzzy. It's like they're in your imagination, and the ones that you call in the past, you refer to as memories, and the ones that are in the future seem a little bit uncertain, but they actually all exist, just you're slightly out of phase with them, is another way we could say that. And so the truth behind this, one of the truths behind this quantum exploration of the potential to become ageless or age-free comes from my understanding and your innate knowing that you may just be starting to become aware of or wake up to, is that we as individuals, we as consciousness can actually deliberately focus ourselves into experiences and present moment realities that aren't in sequence on that timeline. In other words, it's actually possible for us to focus into being an experience of ourselves as a 7-year-old or as a 70-year-old. We don't believe this is possible, but it actually is possible, and it's the place from which a lot of quantum healing effects and quantum transformations are starting to occur. So I'll just put that out as a teaser. We're not going to go into that concept on this recording, but it is a reality that just like, a movie is made up of all different still shots sequenced together, and you can, cut and paste those. That same thing is true of your reality and mine. And on this quantum exploration of the concept of aging, we're actually doing that a little bit, and will in the future, even more so on some of the future recordings. The main idea right now that I want to explore with you and give you an opportunity to experience differently than you ever have before is this one. Since there only is this now moment, this moment right here, right now, where you are having a wide range of experiences, you're a multidimensional consciousness having a focused experience into this body. But even sitting here or listening wherever you are, you're having a multitude of experiences. You're sensing things, you're sitting somewhere, you're hearing the sound of my voice. There are thoughts playing through your mind, maybe in the background. You might be aware of looking at things in your environment. You may be feeling certain things. You're multidimensional, but you're focused into this here and now. In this here and now, when you are completely focused into what's happening on every level of your being, and you are resisting none of it, in other words, you're okay on every level with the experience you're having, you're immersed in it, you're enjoying it, you're okay with it. In that moment, when you are so present to the experience you're having that your self-consciousness evaporates and you're completely lost in the moment, you are not in that experience creating any time. Let me say that another way. You do not move through time. You as consciousness itself create the experience of time. We become ageless, or in other words, we access and live from and express the agelessness, the timelessness that we really are when we are in the present moment, fully engaged in the present moment with no resistance to what is. And the more and more we live the moments of our days that way, the less age we create, the less time we create. What we start to discover is the present moment itself contains so much richness, so much detail, so much feeling, so much consciousness, so much sensation to experience that we can dive so deeply into the experiences of the present moment and find depth in that we stop trying to reach into the future to create different experiences or go back into the past to remember things or fix things from the past. And so the key to agelessness and timelessness, and I believe as a result to having a body and a physical experience that reflects agelessness, the key to that is to be able to be completely present without reservation, without resistance, without saying no to what's showing up in any present moment. And so the exercise I want to lead you through now, and the 5-word mantra I want to share with you that will allow you to be ageless for life, that's where we're going to go now. So to begin, actually, the first thing I want you to do is to decide whether you want to just listen to what I have to say and listen to the exercise as an idea. Because if you just listen to this point forward, with sort of half of your awareness, or listen, for the ideas that I express, you will not walk away with the full transformation that's possible for you here. You won't experience the shift of awareness, the shift into a new state of being that you possibly have never touched on yet. And that's okay if that's what you want. But what if what you're really coming to this recording for is to live from the agelessness, the timelessness that you really are? Then what you want to do right now is pull out that piece of paper and a pen that I talked about and decide to listen to this with a great degree of mindfulness and apply what I'm going to lead you through directly to the issues that I'm going to ask you to identify, or the topics that I'm going to ask you to identify next. So if you're ready for that, the first thing I want you to do, of course, is to have some things in your life to apply this mantra to that I'm going to share with you. So right now, pull out that piece of paper and a pen, and you can stop this recording if that would help, and you'll probably need to. But I want to invite you to jot down on that piece of paper all the things that you can think of that are going on in your life right now, today, that either feel incomplete to you or which you are not comfortable with the way that they are right now. And these can range from big things, like something that's going on with your health, or a big question mark in an important relationship, or a challenge that someone you love is experiencing, or a financial crisis of some sort. So really big things, but also you can include the smallest of things, like you have a phone call to make that you don't know what you're going to say, or there's a bill to pay that you haven't paid yet. To repeat, what I'm asking you to do is to write down on that piece of paper anything that feels undone or uncomfortable or unfinished or incomplete, or anything that you're resistant to being exactly the way it is now. In any area of life that comes to mind. And probably the more you write down, the more mindful you'll be of the state of being that I'm wanting to highlight for you in the recording or the exercise that follows this. And I'll be quiet just for a second while you do that. And what will happen is just thoughts will pass through your mind. thoughts of things that you have to do, thoughts of things that you're concerned about. It will be sort of the typical stream of consciousness of thoughts that pass through your mind, if you're like most of us. Because most of us sort of have a background running monologue, a litany that's pointing out to us things that are not okay with us in this present moment. And they flare up as worries or to-dos. Or physical aches and pains. All you're really doing is sort of reading the thoughts that cross your mind habitually, that normally they pass through and you sort of latch onto, or you're aware of, oh yeah, I got to do this. Oh yeah, I haven't done that. Oh yeah, I haven't solved that problem. Oh yeah, this is going on with them. All of them will have sort of an underlying flavor of sort of, oh no, or there'll be a dissonance. They'll be a bit uncomfortable in their undoneness, in their incompletion, in the way that they feel or sit within you. So if you need more time, excuse me, to record some of those as they come, and I would just let them flow. Even just walk around the space you're in and notice more and more of those types of thoughts and awarenesses. And then, so if you need to, stop the recording and do that. But if you're ready, then carry on with me. Because now I'm going to share the 5-word mantra that will allow you to consciously and deliberately be okay, be fully present to, and in harmony with, and therefore ageless and timeless with, whatever is going on in the present moment. And the basic truth of every present moment is that there are always pieces that are coming into harmony and always pieces that aren't quite in harmony. In other words, every present moment, with very few exceptions, contain things in our experience that are incomplete, uncertain, don't quite fit right, aren't quite comfortable. And so a key to being ageless and experiencing this present moment without any resistance, and therefore not creating the experience of time or age in it, is to be completely and fully at peace with those pieces and parts of that moment that are undone, incomplete, up in the air, not to your liking, uncertain. So I think I'll let you practice, or I'll guide you to practice this mantra with three things that you're experiencing right now. So bring to mind one thing from your list that's going on in your life right now that is not to your liking, either in the way that it is right now or because You're not sure how it's going to turn out. Bring that to mind and identify what it is. And let yourself feel what it's like just to see that thing and know that that thing is the way that it is. So it might be, I don't know where the money for my rent is coming from. Or I don't know what this pain I have is. Or I don't know where this relationship is going. Or I don't know if my job will ever work out. Or I don't know how to solve this problem I'm having. So all you want to do is highlight for yourself the fact that that thing is right now incomplete, undone, unsolved. And so here's the 5-word mantra to say after that, which is, so I don't have what it takes to solve this problem, whatever, if that's whatever your issue is. And then after you say, and I'm at peace with that. That's the 5-word mantra to be ageless for life. I'm at peace with that. So just say it quietly or out loud, actually, for yourself. Name the thing that is currently undone, unsolved, not to your liking. And then after it, say, I'm at peace with that. And chances are that you will not actually feel at peace with that. And so when you acknowledge that, this is the next moment that your life is bringing to you. And you can say, you can just acknowledge that now you are at peace with not being at peace with that. In other words, what you're learning to do is really recognize what's here and now in the moment and be at peace or okay. If you prefer the word okay, I'm okay with that. You're learning to recognize what is, and even more importantly, you're learning to recognize the reaction that you're having to what's going on. And you're reaching for the ability to be at peace both with the situation and your reaction to the situation. So you let the situation be what it is, you let your reaction be what it is, and you let both of those things, the situation and your emotional or mental reaction to it, be what they are. And you say, I'm at peace with that. So, in other words, you might have said, I don't know where the money for my rent is going to come from, and I'm upset. So you recognize the situation, you recognize your reaction, and then you say, I'm at peace with that. You're at peace with your own upset. You're at peace with your own anxiety, maybe, anger. You're at peace both with the situation and you're at peace with your response to the situation. Now, if you prefer a different language, you don't have to say, I'm at peace with that. To me, that rings true because it brings peace, the feeling of peace or okayness right into the situation without the situation needing to change. But if you want your mantra to be, I'm okay with that, or I accept that, or whatever you want it to be, it can be different. But I'm going to continue to use the 5-word phrase, I'm at peace with that. And applying those 5 words to that situation allows you to be in this present moment and every present moment without resistance. The external world can be what it is, and your internal reaction to it can be what it is. And this 5-word mantra, I'm at peace with that, allows you to be consciousness, fully focused into a present moment experience with no resistance to what's incomplete, undone, uncertain in that present moment. And this brings right into all of that, I'm going to say drama, might not be the right word, all of the intensity of that focus moment. It pours all of the vast resources that you really are into that full experience, the physical experience, the emotional experience, with no resistance. It allows it to be what it is, without needing any part of it to be different in order for you to be okay. Let's try it with one more thing. Think of or look at your list there and see the second thing or a second thing on your list. Something that's going on in your life right now that is incomplete, unfinished, uncertain, maybe anxiety provoking, and just name it. Big or small. Name that thing. And let yourself really feel the reaction or response that your body has to recognizing that that situation is very real and very present right now. And allow that reaction or response, the emotion, to kind of swell up. So you're noticing the situation. You're noticing your response. And you might even put that into language. You might say, this relationship has always been difficult, and I'm upset and angry. And then you add the 5-word mantra to be ageless for life, which is, and I'm at peace with that. Do that right now out loud, if you can, with whatever situation is present in your mind. And if you feel yourself starting to be at peace, but thoughts pop in that put you out of peace again, you could even say to yourself, I'm not getting it. And I'm at peace with that. I don't think I could ever be okay with this situation unless it were to change. And I'm at peace with that. It's a continual reaffirming that whatever is showing up in the present moment that you're focused into, and as I said, there will be a continual changing of the perspective that you focus yourself into this present moment into. And the more that you can recognize what's going on in the present moment that you're resistant to, you can recognize the reaction you're having to it. And you can let all of that be what it is. Just let it be what it is without needing it to be any different in order for you to be at peace. This is how you bring forward into each present moment the ageless, timeless consciousness. That's who and what you really are. And your body will change. You don't know how yet. And we don't largely have examples of what this looks like for a body that lives from and in timelessness and agelessness. We don't know really what that looks like or feels like. But if you want to, you can find out for yourself. And this mantra, this 5-word mantra, I'm at peace with that, is a direct route into that experience when you apply it with mindfulness over and over and over again. And that's what I wanted to share with you on this Future of Aging recording, this 3rd one. And I look forward to hearing some of your experiences. And I'll be releasing the 4th recording before too long, and I'll let you know when it's available. Bye for now.